Welcome to SUA Yes Lab. My name is Hussein Kwazu, and I'll be teaching data structure and algorithm. On this course, we are going to use Python as a programming language to apply the knowledge of the data structure and algorithm. But before going further, we need to define what is a data structure. We have several definitions of the data structure. And one among the definition is, we can say data structure is data organization, management, and storage format that enables efficient access and modification. So generally, when we are talking about data structure, we are talking about how the data is organized, how the data is managed, how the data is stored, and so that it can enable efficient access and modification of those data. We have another definition which says a data structure is a collection of data values, the relationship among them, and the functions or operations that can be applied to the data. Okay, before going further, we need to understand the uses of the data structure. Where can we apply the data structure? The data structure can be applied in different ways. We can use data structure on storing of data, for example, on the database management system. We can also use the data structure to manage resources and services. For example, on the operating system, we can use the data structure on the data exchange. For example, when sending the TCP IP packets, we use the data structure to send those packets. We can use data structure on the ordering and sortings of objects or sorting of the data. We can use the data structure on indexing, for example, B trees. First, I'll not go further on these concepts, but you can just go and check each concept. You can also use the data structure on searching, can use the data structure on the big data application. For example, the Apache Spark, it provides the data structure that mirrors the underlying structure of the database record to simplify querying. So we have several uses of the data structure. Okay, so we need also to understand the characteristics of the data structure. The data structure can be linear or non-linear. By saying that the data structure can be linear, we mean that the data can be stored or arranged in a sequential order. And when we say the data structure can be non-linear, it means it's the opposite. It means the data are stored in an ordered sequence. Also, another characteristic of data structure is a data structure can be homogeneous or heterogeneous. By saying homogeneous, we means the data stored on a specific data structure will be of the same type. But when you say the data structure is heterogeneous, it means the data stored on the specific data structure can be of a different type. For example, if you have a data structure which can only store the data of the type of the single type, for example, the integer data type only, then that can be homogeneous. But if you have a data structure which can store string together with integer, together with float, so since we have several types stored in the single data structure, we call that data structure as a heterogeneous data structure. The data structure can also be static or dynamic. You see, by saying static, it means the data structure, if you define the data structure, it has, let's say, it will have 10 items, then it will need to have only 10 items. There's no way you can add more items, or you can exceed the 10 items which are required. And by saying that the data structure is dynamic, it means that the data structure it varies on the size. It varies on the size of the data. Now, what are those data structures? We have several data structures, and these data structures has been grouped or categorized into categories. The first group is the built-in data structure, and the second one is the user-defined data structure. On the built-in data structure, we have data structure like list, we have dictionary, we have tuple, and we have sets. On the user-defined data structure, we have stack data structure, we have queue data structure, we have tree data structure, linked list data structure, graph, hash map data structure. Of course, you can refer this image by following the link which has been shown below. Okay, now let's start with the first data structure, the first built-in data structure, which it is list. Okay, now the list data structure can be used to store multiple items in a single variable. So you have a single variable on which you store multiple items. These data structure are heterogeneous. It means they can store different data types in a sequential manner. See, and every item or every element which has been stored in this list, it is assigned a specific address, which we call it index. And normally the index starts from 0 up to the last item, whereby if the items are 9 items, you will start from 0 up to 8. You see? Okay, now here you can see we have a simple Python program which it shows how can you create a list. A list can simply created by using this kind of bracket. You see the square bracket. So you just write the name of the variable and then the equal sign, and then you put the square bracket. By just putting the square bracket without any items inside the square bracket, it means you just created an empty list. And then you can print the list. If it has got any content, you can use the function print, the Python function print. And inside the function print, you can pass the variable name, which it is, for this case, it is my list. You see, so this is the first way. You can create an empty list, or you can create a list with the items. For example, here you can see the list with the items 1, 2, 3, and then we have a string example, and then we have a double 3.132. If you remember, we said the list is a heterogeneous data structure. You can store different data types within the single variable. How do you know if it is a list? Is whenever you find this kind of bracket, you see square bracket. If you find a square bracket, then with the items within, automatically this becomes a list. And if you want to see the items, you can use the same function print to preview the items within the list. So for example, the first print, it print nothing. It means the list variable, it contains nothing because it was an empty list. But on the second one, it print the values of the list, which were 1, 2, 3 example and 3.132. Okay, so apart from creating a list, we need to know, what if you just want to add element in the list? We have several ways of adding elements into a list. We can use one of the 3 functions. The first function is append. You can use the append function to add elements to the list. You can use extend function to add elements to a list. You can also use insert function to add elements to a list. Now, what are the differences between these three functions? The append functions, it add all the element passed to it as a single element. You see? And the extend function, it add the elements one by one into the list. So the first function, which is append, if you have a group of elements, it will be added to the list as a single element. So it will be grouped together. We're going to see the example. And on the second one, extend, if you have multiple items and then you want to add them into the list, they will be added one by one, to not be added as a single element. Also we have the insert, which is the function that add the element passed to the index value and increase the size of the list too. Now let's see the example so that you can understand. For example, you can see here we have a list variable called my list with variable 1, 2, and 3. And then by using the append, append function, we want to add two items, 555 and 12. You see, by adding 555 and 12, by using the append function, you see it will add the 555 and 12 as a single element. You see, so it is a list, but the 555 and 12, they have been grouped as one item, as you can see here. But by using the extend, you see here, we use the extend function with the values 2, 3, 4, and more example. So this one, it will not be added as a single item, it will be added as individual items. So 2, 3, 4 will be added, and then more example will also be added. The last function, which it is insert, it will add the value insert example by checking the index which has been provided. So it means you need to check what is the index and then insert the value which have been provided. So generally the insert function has the index value and the value. So there is an index and then the value. You see, so that is the thing. As you can see, after performing this one, the insert example has been added, but mind you, the 2, 3, and the rest will be just moved one step ahead. So it means you just insert this item or this element at the middle wherever you have specified the index to be. Okay, now apart from inserting, also we need to know how can we delete elements from the list. We can delete the element by using the del keyword. We can delete the elements by using the pop function. We can also delete the element from the list by using the remove function. The del keyword will delete the element, but it will return nothing. So it will delete and then it will tell you nothing about the deleted item. On the pop, it will delete the element from the list by using its index and return the value of the element deleted. So on the pop, you just delete by using the index. So you provide the index value, and then after providing the index value, it will delete the value, and this function will return the deleted element. You see? And on the remove function, it will remove the elements by its value. So you just provide the value to be deleted. We are going to have a look on how can we use the del keyword to delete the element. How can we use the remove function to remove the value or the item from the list? How can we use the pop function to pop the element from the list, and also how can we clear the list. Okay, let's start with the del keyword. You can use the del keyword to delete the elements at a certain index. So for example, this one, it delete the element from the my list on the index 5. So by doing that, it means we are going to delete the item at index 5. This is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is index 5. So we're going to remove 10. On the remove function, we just specify the item to be removed. So we don't provide the index as it was on the del keyword. So we provide the item to be deleted. For this case, it is example. So the example will be deleted from the list. On the pop, we provide the index of the value to be popped or to be deleted. So it means for this case, it will pop the element on the index 1. So as you know, index 1, it will be 0, 1. So it will pop this item. And also we can clear the element, or we can clear the list by using the clear function. So if you just write the name of the list and then dot clear function, it will automatically empty the list. So you get an empty list like that one. Okay, now apart from deleting or creating the list, we need also to know how can we access the element from the list. You can access the element from the list by just passing the index value of that item. So first of all, you need to understand, you need to know the index value of that item, and then you can get the value. So on this example, we are assuming that we have the list with these values 1, 2, 3, example 3.132, 10, 30. You see, and then we want to access the element. But since we can also use the for loop to iterate on the list, and then by iterating to mean that we can pass through each of the item or each of the elements on that list. So we can use the for loop, and then how can we use it? We can just write for, and then we just define a name on which we are going to store each value from the from my list variable. So for then element in my list, and then we print each element. So automatically this loop will loop on the my list variable. So it means if the my list variable has got 100 items, it will loop 100 times. And each time it loop, it gets the value and then store the value on another variable called the element, as we have specified here, and then we're going to print it. So that is what is happening. And as you can see on the Python, if you write a program, you can use the index, you can indent in order to okay. So here we're going to discuss cut. Okay, here we're going to discuss about how can you access elements in the list. We can access elements by using the index value. So as you can see on this example, we have a list with these values, and then we can use a loop to loop or to iterate across the list variable and then get each element. So that's what is happening. There is a for function and then for elements in my list. It means loop on the my list variable, and then each value assign it to another variable called element, and then you can print the element. So this loop, which is what it is performing. You see, as you can see, this is the output from the first print statement. Print 1, 2, 3, example 3.1, 32, 10, and then 30. The second print, it print my list. This one is the way of accessing all elements. By printing the variable name of the list, it means you just access all the elements. You can view all of them. But as I said earlier, you can also access the elements from my list or from the list variable by supplying the index value. So for example, here I can just say my list and then index 3. It will access the value from index 3. This is index 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will get example as a value, as you can see. Okay. Also, we can access the elements by specifying the range. You can say I just want to access the elements from index 0 to index 2. So you can just provide the range by using full colon. So you simply provide the range from certain index to a certain index. See? But you can also access the elements in a reverse order. How can you do that? You can just do that by saying, by putting 2 full colons and then -1. It means you just access the elements from the list from the last item to the first item. So those are several ways where we can use to access. But apart from those functions, we have also other functions for list data structure. We have len function, which it is used for getting the length of the list. By using this function, you can get the total number of items stored in a certain list. We have index functions. This one will find the index value of the value which has been passed. So you can have, let's say, a list of 10 items, and then you want to get the index of a certain value. You can just provide that value to the function index, and then it will give you the index. But there is a problem with this function. It will only provide the first encountered item. So if you have, let's say, multiple items, and then you just want to get the index, it will give you the first encountered item. There is a count function. This one, it counts the value passed to it. So it will count how many times that value exists in that specific list. There is a sorted and sort functions. These two functions, they do perform the same task, but the differences are the sorted, it has a return type, where the sort, it just modifies the original list. So if you have a list and then you want to sort it, and then after sorting it, you need to save the sorted item into the same list, you can use the sort function. And the sorted has got a return type. We're going to see when we are doing practical. So these are some of the examples. For example, we have this list with item 1, 2, 3, 10, 30, 10. By using the len function, it will print the length of the list. So it will count how many items are in my list. So for example, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 items. That's why it printed 6. We have index 10. As I said, it will return the index where the value 10 has been encountered. For example, 10 is here, so it will say index 0, 1, 2, 3. It will return 3 as an index where you can find 10. as you can see, it will not return the index of the other 10. It will return the index of the first encountered. We have the count function, whereby it counts how many times a certain value exists in a given list, you see. So you can see, for example, we count 10. 10, it appears 2 times. That's why it prints 2. We have sorted function. This one, it sorts the list, but it does not change the original list. So for example, if I print sorted my list, it will sort this list, and then it will print, but it will not change the original list. See, for example, another example is when you use the sort function. This one will sort the original list. So automatically, if you sort my list at the end, the list will be sorted. This reverse equal to true, it means it will sort in a reverse order. That's what it means. Sometimes you don't need to provide this one, but yeah, you can say reverse equal to true, reverse equal to false. It depends. If you want to sort them in a reverse order, or you don't want to set them in reverse order, you can just say there. Okay. Okay, so after a lot of stories, now it's better to have a practical session. So before going to the practical session, I need to share with you some very important thing. I need to show you something. There are several ways of doing practical with this. Okay. Sorry. Okay, you can set up your environment for writing Python programs. You can install Jupyter Notebook on your laptop, but there is a very simple way, which I also do prefer it. You can use an online tools whereby you don't need to install anything. Everything is stored there on the cloud. So you just go and use the resources. For example, you can use this link, which it is jupyter.org/try. You can open that link, and then after opening that link, you can just come down here. There are several resources where you can use it, but for me, I just need you to use Jupyter Notebook, which it is a web application for creating and sharing computation documents. So you can open it, right click, open, and then to open something like this one. Of course, there are some sample codes. There are some sample codes, but for us, you can just go to the file and then select new, and then go to the notebook. If you open the notebook, it will ask you, select kernel. Okay, just say select. And then this is the Jupyter Notebook. Okay, now let's start our practical session. So first of all, let's change this to yes 100. Okay, now first of all, let me put some comments. I just comment creating a list data structure. Okay, so I need to change this one because it's not a code, it's a comment. I can just make it as a markdown, then can execute this one, so it will create a new entry, and there we can start creating our list. So the first way of creating a list is to create an empty list. In Python, you can comment. So you can comment by using the hash symbol or the hash sign. So I can comment and say creating empty list. And then I can say my list is called yes 100. Oh, sorry, yes list. And then if you remember, we said the list can be created by using the square brackets. So yes, list square bracket, that is an empty list. See? Okay, then I can create, let's go and creating a list with values. Okay, can call it the same, yes, list. Then I can say the values are 2, 4, 1, 5, 8, let's call it Mkwazu, 3.14, sorry, 14. So this is the list with value. The first one was the list, which is empty. Okay, so have executed it, as you can see, by using Shift and then Enter. Then it has been executed. So here we can print the values. Let's print the value. Let me comment printing values. Values can be simply printed by using the print function. So you can write print, then the name of the list or the name of the variable which you have stored in your list. Then after writing this, as you see, it has not been given a number yet because I have not yet executed it. So I can execute by pressing this icon, and then wow, this is our list. So I have created a list with the values, and then I have printed the values. Okay. Now we need to discuss on how can we add items to list. If you remember, we said you can add item in different ways. We can add by using append function. That is number one. We can add by using extend function. That's number two. We can we can add items to list by using insert function. See? Okay, now let's start with the first one. Let's start with append. Let's start with append function. In order to append, we need first to know the name of the list variable, which is, for our case, it is yes list. Okay, so yes list. Then you say yes list dot append. See, yes list dot append, and then you provide the list to be appended. But as we said earlier, that append can be used to append the items, the group of items, as a single element. So let's try to add the list of items. Let's say we add 45,4. This is the list of items. And then we need to append it to our original list. Now let's execute this one by pressing there. Wow, so that is okay. We have already appended. Now let's print again the values, or print again our yes list. So I can say print, print yes list. Okay, as you can see, we have appended 45 and 4, but it has been appended as a list. So it has been appended as a single element. As you can see, there's a comma, and then 45, 4 as a single element. That is append. Okay, now let's use the second one, the second function, which it is extend. Extend function. Okay, the same. By using extend, you need first of all to know the name of the list variable. For our case, it is yes list. Okay, dot extend. Okay, so for our case, let's extend the same list, which was 45 and 4. We want to see what is the difference between the two. 45 and 4. And then let me run this. Okay. Let's print again. Print yes list. See? Wow. As you can see now, the 45 and 4, for the first function, it was entered as a single element, but for this case, for the extend, it will be inserted as separate elements. So if you have a list of 5 items which you want to insert it into another list, by using the extend function, each item will be inserted separately and not as a single item. Okay, and the last one, it is the insert function. Okay, the same as it was. We can say the yes list. Okay, sorry, yes list dot insert. So for this function, you need to say, where do you want to insert? You want to insert on which index? So for this case, let's say we want to insert on index 4, sorry. And then the value, let's say our value is 100. See, let me run this one. So I have inserted 100 on the index 4. So we expect that the 100 will be inserted on the index number 4. Where the index number 4? Number 4, it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So it will be inserted here, and then this list will be moved on the right hand side. So let's print and see what will be printed. Yes, list. Wow, so there it is. It has taken the space of the place of 8, and then 8 takes the next index until the last one. So this is how you can apply the insert function. Okay, now apart from that, we have another function. We have another function which we need to understand. We need to understand how can we deleting items from the list. Deleting items from the list. How can we delete the items from the list? We can delete by, so let me zoom out. Okay. You can delete by, in several ways. You can delete by using the del keyword. And that is number 1. Number 2, you can delete by using the pop function. Number 3, you can delete by using the remove function. Okay, let's start with the del keyword. Del keyword. Okay, since it is a comment, I need to put the hash there. Okay. How can you use the del keyword? Can use the del keyword to delete from the list. So you can just say the del, and then you specify the name of the list. For our case, it is yes, yes list, and then you provide the item, the index on which you want to delete. For example, we want to delete this item. This it is on the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can say I want to delete index 6. See, oops, sorry. Oh, I forgot to write there. Sorry, I forgot. Instead of putting this kind of bracket, I need to put the square bracket. So as you can see, there's an error here. So let's try again. Wow, it means it has deleted. Let's print our list again. If we print our list, which it is yes list, what will be the result? What will be the output? Now the output is missing mkwazo. So it means the del keyword has function. Okay. Now let's use another way, another function, which it is remove function. Let's use the remove function. Okay. Using the remove function, just specify the value which you want to delete. So you can say, first of all, you specify the name, the list variable. So it is yes list, then dot remove. Just say, okay, I want to remove 5. Let's say I want to remove 5. And then after removing, let's print yes list. So we expect that after printing, number 5 will be removed. Let's see. Wow. So number 5 is gone. Okay. Number 5 is gone. Okay. Let's have a look on the pop function. Okay, the same. You just say yes underscore list dot pop. On the pop, you need to provide the index where you want to delete. On the remove, you provide the value to be deleted. On the pop, you provide the index. For example, if you want to delete 3.14, you need to provide the index of that value, which it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is in the index 5. Okay, and then let's print and see what will happen. Yes, yes list. Okay, so 3.14 is gone because we have applied the pop function. The last function which you can use it is the clear function. This one, of course, it removes or it deletes all the items. So you can just use the clear function to delete all items in the list. Okay, so you can just say yes. That's called list.clear. Okay, and then let's print yes yes list. Okay, Let's run this. Okay, now our list now is empty, as you can see. Is empty, as you can see. Okay, so as you can see, we have see how can we create empty list. We can create list with values. How can we print? How can we add items? How can we remove items? Now let's have a look on the last one. How to access items? See, how can we access the items? Now, since we have cleared our list, let's create it again. Let's copy the first one so that we can have our list with the values. Okay, assume now this is our list. We need to access the items. We can just access the items by using the index of that item. For example, if I want to access the item, let's say to access 5, I need to know what is the index of 5. Index of 5 is 0, 1, 2, 3. So I can just say yes, list, whereby this is the name of the list. So it depends. If the name of your list is different, you can just choose, you can just write the name. Okay, so for our case, it is yes, then 0, 1, 2, 3, index 3. So there, I can just access the item on the index 3. See? But you can also access all items. You can access all items by just printing the list variable name. For our case, it is yes list. Okay. Wow. So there you get all items from that list. But you can also access the items by specifying the range of the index. So I can say print, then yes list, and then I say I want from index 2 full colon 5. So I want to access all items from index 2 to 5. Okay, so it is 158, which are this one, 158. You see? Okay. You can also access the elements in reverse order. How can you access? You can just access by saying or specifying the name of the list variable, yes list, and then you can put 2 full colon, and then just say -1. So automatically this one will start printing the items of the list from the last one to the first one. Okay, so I think for today we should end up here, unless otherwise, if you have any comment, you can just comment in the comment section. If you have any suggestion also, you are invited to suggest. Okay, bye. See you on the lecture 2 in the next session. Thank you very much.